Upon Mr. Kevin Rutter, please come on stage and tell these men what it is that we expect of them.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin and I'm trash. Stop crying and stop with the tears! Get up off the floor, come on, man up! Don't be such a wussy! Grow some balls! Boys and young men learn very early on in their lives that to be a so-called real man, you have to put on this tough guy. You have to show the world only parts of yourself that the dominant culture has defined as manly. You can find out what these qualities are when you talk to boys. The boys, when they ask the question, what is a real man? What does it take to be a man? You get answers like, a real man is physical. A real man is strong. He's independent. He's powerful, intimidating, in control, rugged. Scares people. He's respected. He's a stud. He's athletic. He's muscular. And he's tough. And just as our young men know what our culture expects from our real men, they also know what you get called if you don't measure up. To be a real man, to be tough and strong and intimidating and respected, etc., means fitting into this narrow box that defines what manhood is. Terms that are opposite to that. You're a wuss or a fag or homo, a bitch, a pussy. These are insults that are used to keep the boys boxed in. So if you are a boy, it's pretty clear that there's a lot of pressure on you to conform and to put on an act and to be just one of the guys. What just about every boy knows all too well is what I call the mask of toxic masculinity. A stance of male bravado and stoicism that boys learn to cover up their inner feelings of sadness, loneliness, vulnerability, to act cool and to protect themselves from being shamed by their peers. This, my friends, is how we socialize our boys, and then we wonder why they lash out in anger. They constantly feel like they have to man up, to be a man. But you can be gay and be a man. Did you hear what I said? Let me tell you something, if you ask a gay guy, are you a man? He's not going to say, no, I'm not a man, I'm a woman. You can be gay and be a man. You can be creative and caring and loving and still be a man, right? And my friends, I'm sorry to say, but you are all complicit in this process. So I think you're all trash too. Now before I hear from the Not All Men Brigade, let me explain why I say this. As fathers, we perpetrate violence in our homes by beating our children, believing that lie that it's for their own good, when social science tells us otherwise. We are passive bystanders when it comes to many misogynistic statements like, a woman's place is in the kitchen. A woman must submit, check out that ass. You're playing like a girl, stop throwing like a girl. Let me tell you a story. I have two adult daughters now, but they were sort of 18 and 20 when I went to a water polo game at one of South Africa's top boys' schools. And both my young nephews play water polo for Western Province. We went to go and watch them playing at Jeppe. So we walked into this testosterone-filled pool situation. And as we walked in, I walked in with my two girls. One of the fathers on the stand stood up, surrounded by a whole bunch of boys from the school. He stood up and he said, hey boys, look what just walked in. Now, I'm English speaking. What refers to an object? What refers to an object? My girls are not objects. If it said, look who just walked in, that's a different story. And my friends, you and I are sometimes complicit in that. We passive bystanders. Nobody challenged him as to what he said. I had a chat with my girls about it, but you know what? I didn't even challenge him. And I felt bad about it afterwards. I should have challenged him when he said that. So, guys, stop being defensive about your trashiness. Own it. Like I need to own my white privilege. I need to own it. Own your trashiness, guys, and start from there. Start from there. South African women constantly live in fear. And they're not fearful of other women. Their gender alone makes them pray. All that the hashtag Men Are Trash was trying to say or to highlight is the fact that masculinity is toxic and violent. Karaba Mokoena, Anine Boysen, Nosipo Mandlaneni, Riva Steenkamp, Fatima Patel, Zanele Kumalo, Dodi Chabalala, Jake Paniatu, and the list goes on. How can we not chant, men are trash? Men refuse to acknowledge that a war is being waged against women, and it's a war led by patriarchy, a system of domination and control that privileges men at the expense of women. They are the self-proclaimed good men, some of them in this room, maybe all of you in this room, who have never and will never lay a hand on anyone, let alone a woman. And I see you all. I see you all here tonight. But here's what you need to understand. By virtue of the fact that you're a man, you've been socialized to behave in a certain way because patriarchy has normalized certain behavior. The water polo guy is probably one of those self-proclaimed good men. He doesn't know he's trash. Let's talk about our boys for a moment. We've lost touch with them. The boy child is neglected. Boys and men are crying out to talk about the things that are hurting them. Their harassment from other boys, their troubled relationships with their fathers, their embarrassment around girls, their confusion about sex, their disconnection from their parents, the violence that haunts them on the street, and the constant fear that they may not be masculine as other boys around them. So our nation is home to millions of these young boys that feel like they're navigating life alone, who on an emotional level are alone. They're cast out to sea on separate lifeboats, and they feel they're drowning in isolation and depression. One of the ironies of this depression is that the very forces that help create it keep us from seeing it. Because men are not supposed to be vulnerable, we're not supposed to talk about it. Pain is something that we're meant to rise above. We're not meant to talk about our pain, we don't feel pain. Yet it's a secret pain that lies at the heart of several typical male problems. Domestic violence, physical illness, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, failures in intimacy, running away to other women, self-sabotaging careers. I have one more story I want to tell you, and I promised I'd keep it short tonight because we're out of time. One of my best friends is a world-renowned speaker, travels the circuit. His name is Graham Codrington, some of you might know him. And it's pretty daunting getting up on the platform after Graham has spoken. And I once followed him at a men's seminar. Graham was speaking, I preceded him, so I was speaking, and Graham was speaking after me. So I was on point with my PowerPoint and everything else, and I was trying to really, really impress that day. So I knew Graham was coming after me, and he's really impressive. And that Graham had no flashy PowerPoint presentation. He stood up and told the story of one of his best friends. There were 5 of them in a group from school. And his friend Peter was one of his best friends. They used to meet occasionally, ride together, watch sports together, do all the things that guys do together. And the one day Graham got a call from Peter's wife to say, Graham, Peter arrived home early from work today, went into the bedroom, he drew the curtains, took a gun out of the safe, and he blew his brains out. He shot himself in their bedroom and died. And Graham said, you know guys, not one of us knew the pain that Peter was going through. He never spoke to any of us about it. We were his best friends. Not one of us knew about it. Not one of us knew what was going on inside of him. There must have been so much pain. And friends, that's what men are like. Men don't talk about their problems. They don't talk about their pain. And I'm going to encourage each one of you to form some sort of accountability group with your friends. After that day, Graham said the other 4 decided that they were going to get together on a regular basis and share everything about life. Their work life, their family life, their sex life, their money life, everything about everything. And he said the rule was that after each time they met, they had to look each other in the eyes and say, were you 100% honest with us today? And they met several times, and Graham said it took me 1 year of meeting with my friends to answer yes to that question. 1 whole year of meeting with your best friends before you could say, I was totally honest today. Can I tell you that if women did that, got together in a group, that after 1 week they'd be able to share everything with each other? Am I right, ladies? Okay, so men, start being accountable to each other, start sharing your deepest secrets and concerns and pain with each other. So men need to be accountable, and that's a given. But more importantly, in this fight against gender-based violence, men need to be part of the solution. Not turning a blind eye to a colleague's inappropriate behavior, an organization's tendency to favor males, a justice system's inability to protect survivors, and a society that teaches boys will be boys. Men, take the opportunity to learn and take the opportunity to unlearn. Don't just talk about stopping it, fix it. Thank you.